It all started with a cough. Nothing big, nothing dramatic, just a little tickle in my throat that wouldn't go away. Within 2 weeks, I was in the ICU, intubated, unconscious, and while I was fighting to breathe, my wife sold our house behind my back. And that's just the beginning. Let me rewind. My name is Ryan. I'm 41. I've been married to Melissa for 8 years, 10, if you count the dating years. We lived in a beautiful 3-bedroom house in a quiet little town in Oregon. I wasn't rich, but I was content. I worked as a high school science teacher. Melissa did bookkeeping remotely, and most of our life was pretty normal. Or at least I thought it was. Now, I'm not a guy who complains. I've always believed marriage is built on partnership and trust. We'd had our ups and downs like anyone else. Money fights, her frustration with my long work hours, my occasional annoyance at her shopping habits, but nothing catastrophic. That changed when I got sick. It started in late February. I got what I thought was the flu. Chills, fever, body aches. Then came the breathing problems. By the time I went to urgent care, I couldn't even walk from the car to the clinic without stopping to catch my breath. They rushed me to the hospital. Turns out it wasn't the flu. It was severe pneumonia, compounded by an autoimmune reaction that triggered my body to attack my lungs. The doctor said if I had waited another day, I might not have made it. Within 48 hours, I was placed into a medically induced coma to stabilize my breathing. For 2.5 weeks, I was unconscious. 2.5 weeks where I had no control, no awareness, no idea my life was unraveling behind my back. When I woke up, I didn't even know what month it was. My muscles had atrophied. I was weak, scared, and confused. But Melissa was there, standing at my bedside with a tight smile. And I noticed something strange immediately. She didn't hug me. No kiss on the forehead, just distant eyes. "You're awake," she said, like it was an inconvenience. I brushed it off at first. Maybe she was just scared. Maybe she was overwhelmed. The nurse told me I was lucky to be alive, so I tried to be grateful. I focused on recovery. But the weirdness didn't stop there. She started spending less time at the hospital. My brother Nate ended up visiting me more than she did. She'd pop in for 15 minutes, say she had a Zoom call or errands, then disappear. When I asked her to bring me my phone and laptop, she said they were at the new place. "New place? What do you mean?" I asked. She hesitated. "Oh, right, so while you were under, I sold the house." Just like that. And that's the sentence that unraveled everything. I thought I misheard her. I asked her again, more forcefully this time. "What do you mean you sold the house?" She sighed like I was being dramatic. "I couldn't keep up with the mortgage alone, and we didn't know if you were going to make it. The market was up. It was the smart thing to do. But it was our house," I said, my voice barely a whisper. She shrugged. "Well, it's gone now." Gone. Just like that. I tried to stay calm, but the questions poured in. Where was all our stuff? Where was my safe? My photos? My dog, Max? "Oh," she said, "I gave Max to a family that has a big backyard. He's happier now." I felt like I couldn't breathe again. Melissa said she moved into a condo downtown. She hadn't put me there because it wasn't wheelchair accessible. But something about her tone didn't sit right. Something about her everything didn't sit right. And then I found out about the money. 2 weeks into my recovery, my brother brought me my laptop, thank God. I gave him the spare key to my storage locker years ago. I logged into my bank accounts. Our joint savings wiped clean. My retirement account transferred out. Even my private checking account, which she technically didn't have access to, had been drained through linked bill pays and strange transfers. She'd moved nearly $178,000 out of all our accounts. When I confronted her, she said, "You weren't going to use it. You almost died. I had to protect myself." I knew then that this wasn't a mistake. This wasn't panic. This was planned. Melissa had taken my medical emergency as a green light to abandon the life we built and strip me clean. And she wasn't even subtle about it. I found emails. Yes, emails where she had been talking to a real estate agent 2 days after I was put into a coma. She had a buyer by day 5. The sale was finalized within 12 days. She sold our house while doctors were still unsure if I'd survive. I had power of attorney on file. She didn't even need my signature to make it legal. And legally, I was screwed. Once I was well enough, I moved in with Nate. My credit was ruined. Melissa had opened a credit card in my name and maxed it out. She even pawned some of my vintage comic books. My laptop, gone. My grandfather's watch, sold. I filed a police report. I got a lawyer. But the truth is, the legal system doesn't work the way you think it does. Because we were married and everything was in both our names, it was hard to prove fraud. Divorce court might help, eventually. But she'd already spent most of it. It gets worse. Turns out, Melissa had been seeing someone else, some guy from her online yoga class. She moved in with him, into his condo. The downtown condo? A lie. She sold our house, drained our savings, and moved on with someone else while I was in the hospital.
And the worst part?
She showed no remorse.
It took me months to recover. Physically, emotionally, financially. I started substitute teaching just to bring in some money. My students didn't know I was living in my brother's basement. I worked double shifts, took online gigs, and slowly rebuilt. I got a judgment in the divorce court. She was ordered to repay $65,000, but the money's long gone. I may never see it. But I did get something. Peace. I got Max back. The family Melissa gave him to. When I explained what happened, they were horrified. They brought him back, tail wagging, crying like a baby when he saw me again. That moment, that was the turning point. I didn't need the house. I didn't need the money. I needed myself back. So yeah, she sold our house while I was in the hospital fighting for my life. But I'm still here. I survived the illness. I survived the betrayal. And I'm building something new, something no one can take from me.